Hello and welcome to part 2 of Caregiver Card video tutorials, how to use Caregiver Card. We hope that you enjoyed part 1, describing what Caregiver Cards is. If you missed it, please follow the link provided. Now, since you are aware of the contents of Caregiver Cards, you might be asking, but hey, how do I use them? The main answer we find is in acknowledging first that yes, you are going to be the one using them. I'm sure you understand that communication is considered a shared responsibility. However, in dealing with persons affected with Alzheimer's disease and similar dementias, the responsibility for understanding and being understood lies squarely with you, the caregiver. You will be in charge of handling caregiver cards and helping your loved one find their voice with a new style of communicating. This change is different, but I tell you it's good. Because now you have a tool to help and a sense of understanding what part of your role and requirements are as a caregiver now. Caregiver cards may be used to help the person with dementia to have a visual schedule of a daily routine. Using the card to show that it's time for breakfast or time to take a shower or maybe an activity, bedtime, and so on. It's a very helpful way of giving your loved one a visual reminder to the routine of the day. An example for using your card to show the routine of a day is, for instance, your loved one following you around and they're asking or wanting to know what's next. This can cause anxiety and stress on your end as well. Have your cards ready. Show them a card that represents what's going to happen. In this instance, I'll say it's lunchtime. Lunch can be found in the basic activities of daily living. Put the food first for a reason. I know how important food is. Right there we go. It's time for lunch, so we show them the card. Maybe you want to give them an activity. Show them folding a laundry card, and we got one right here. Or maybe it's time to watch TV. Perhaps it's time for exercise. Yep. We do. We have cards for those. And basically what I'm trying to say is these cards are to help orient them and to communicate what is going on. You can even remove the card and put tape on them. Stick them up if you have to. I don't care. The whole point is to be flexible for you, the caregiver, and to be able to have these visual reminders and visual communication to what is going on in the day. This greatly help with reducing anxiety and the feelings of unknown expectations that your loved one may have. And this reducing anxiety should relate to a reduction in behaviors as well. Alright, having said that, let me share a few more examples of how to use caregiver cards. In this instance, you've brought a glass of water to your loved one, and they see the drink, but let's say they are at a stage in the disorder where he or she may have forgotten what to do next with the glass. Instead of getting frustrated, try taking out your caregiver card. Turning to the card entitled Thirsty, found in the Emotions and Feelings section. Show them the card and say, "You are thirsty, it's time to drink." The simple visual cue will help with the processing of the desired response, in this case taking a drink. Remember, when verbal communication is difficult, that there is strength in visual. I have personally had an experience with this example itself, and using the caregiver cards allowed for the person to remember to take a drink. Me just prompting, like I tried first to show with my hand that it's time for a drink, did not elicit any response. Just a stare and a smile like, hey, that looks nice. But showing the card, the illustration, I had an immediate response and the individual was able to take a drink. That was a really good moment. I would like to share another example of how caregiver cards can be effective. It's in the understanding and in the management of behaviors. Often behaviors are actually a form of communication that your loved one is trying to express that they have a need to be met or a feeling to be explained, and they just quite simply can't get it out. It is not often the case that they are being difficult just to be difficult. However, that is true sometimes. Anyways, when this happens, be aware of the surroundings, the time of day, Could he or she be hungry, tired? Is it hot or cold? Are they just overstimulated, or are they bored? Are they anxious, or maybe they're just feeling sick or not well? It will take some work on your end to view the nonverbal cues that your loved one is showing you. Locate a card then that might relate to the environment. Acknowledge them and what they are going through, and then offer help. You may say, I see that you are upset and angry. Are you hungry? And show them the hungry card. No. The answer's been no. Okay, think to yourself, it's been a while since I've taken them to the bathroom. Show the toilet card. Yeah, that was it. That was the answer. That feels good. You got some closure and you reduced an anxiety. It's going to take some work and practice and an adjustment. And don't forget an openness to try new communication. But I can guarantee, because I've experienced it, it does create less stress. Another common barrier for communication problems is the repetitive questions associated with the short-term memory loss and Alzheimer's. In this situation, you are taking your loved one to the doctor's for an appointment. You are in the car and the question is asked, where are we going? You reply, to the doctor's. A few minutes pass again. Where are we going? To the doctor's. Again and again and again. It's frustrating. You know this, right? Next time, try taking out your caregiver cards. Right here. Go into the section, the people, places, and events. There's one called Doctor's Office. Take the card, put it in their lap or someplace close to where the visual contact can always be established. Turn to the card and say, we are going to the doctor's office. Make sure that your loved one sees and acknowledges the card. Now, instead of constantly asking you to fill in what is causing their anxiety, trying to guess where they are going, your loved one now has a constant visual reminder of where you are headed. And lastly, another example of where caregiver cards has been effective is in using them with people who have reverted back to their native tongue or their foreign language. I was actually able to use this with a resident where I volunteer at, and I was able to pay attention to what the resident was trying to communicate. She kept giving a lot of hand gestures and pointing to my face a lot. Eventually, I came across a card that was appropriate, what she was trying to convey. She kept pointing to my face a lot, and I caught on to this. And so I found in the caregiver card deck a hearing aid card. I said the word to her, hearing aid, and in perfect English she said, yes, hearing aid, even spelled it out for me. And then she went right back into speaking Spanish again. It was really, really amazing to be a part of that, and it's an area that I never thought would be beneficial to caregivers, especially those in care homes. So the connection was made and the communication was established. I'd like to share some important tips when communicating with your loved one for you to remember. It's very important to be calm and supportive. It is also important to speak clearly and slowly, to use simple words or phrases. Redirect to get the attention by maybe a simple touch on the shoulder or getting down and getting some good eye contact. You can also guide your cards right in front of them to get that eye contact. Be prepared to repeat commands a few times. These cards are not meant to be used for rote memorization. I really do want to stress, again, be patient. Be very, very calm. Most importantly, treat your loved one with respect. They are still there. Well, I really hope that this tutorial has helped guide you on how to use caregiver cards and the importance of adding visual cues to a daily part of communication. We hope that you choose to use caregiver cards as a tool in your journey through caring for your person or your loved one with Alzheimer's disease, dementia, related memory speech disorders, or even adults with developmental disabilities. You may also be interested in knowing that Caregiver Cards is available as a mobile app as well. Because the quality of life of both the person with Alzheimer's and you, the caregiver, depends so much on the nature of your relationship, it is critical that you maintain the best possible communication throughout the entire course of your loved one's illness. Please visit us at www.caregivercards.biz. Again, the handle there is .biz, not .com. To order our product or to find useful information on Alzheimer's disease, read our blog, learn useful tips for caregiver care. I also want to remind you that 10% of all purchases are donated to the Alzheimer's Association and to the Alzheimer's Network of Oregon. From all of us at Caregiver Cards, we thank you for joining us and we wish God's blessings upon you.